He's not a bat, he's a man who fights crime. And we're gonna watch him fight for a minute at a time. With John and Niall and a guest who doesn't rhyme. It's Bat Minute!
Hello, and welcome once again to Bat Minute Forever, the podcast where we examine every drop of the green blood of, I was almost going to say Tim Burton again, Joel Schumacher's Batman Forever, 1 minute at a time. I am one of the hosts, Niall McGowan.
And here to pick away at Batman Forever, 1 minute at a time, it is me, John Parker.
Yeah, and once again, we're joined for the final time this week by a frequent guest, familiar voice to all Batman listeners, Stephanie Palacino.
Hello.
Hey.
And Offspring.
Yes. And yes, Blake Palacino is also featured.
Yeah. Well, actually, her name is Blake Kraft, but she can be a Palacino too.
Oh. Yeah, this minute, big minute for the movie. It's minute 54, which starts with the introduction to essentially the main villain of the movie. Like, no offense, Two-Face, but this guy's the big deal at the end of it.
But let's put it this way, right? This movie has taken 54 minutes to introduce its villain. Its real villain.
Yeah. And it ends a minute later with Two-Face not sanctioning the buffoonery of this new villain. But yeah, as you're saying, John, like I actually went and looked because I was like, I was curious. Like 54 minutes before the Riddler actually becomes a thing in the movie, and I went and checked. In Batman Returns, it's minute 45 when we get
not too different then.
Yeah, that's when you get I Am Catwoman, Hear Me Roar. So I took that as the proper introduction of Catwoman.
Yeah.
Penguin's minute 19 is when you first see Oswald Cobblepot in all his glory. And 89, the Joker shows up at minute 37. So it's around that area. This is slightly later, I guess, but at the same time, we already had tons of stuff going on. So
yeah, it's a lot more packed, this film, for better or worse.
Two-Face, ironically enough, introduced in minute 3 of this movie.
That says it all.
Yeah, it's slightly annoying. It's like, oh, God damn it, you're so close. But
I gotta kill these circus folk.
It's a great entrance, as we said last minute as well, though. That little flourish he does with the cane, that's really cool.
Oh, yeah. Apparently, this was a real thing that Jim Carrey himself was very passionate about, was the twirling of the cane. Apparently, he broke 100 prop canes rehearsing in his trailer for this thing.
Once he broke the third one, I'd be like, stop it.
Yeah, you think of Joel Schumacher come in and be like, Jim, this is coming out of your paycheck, man.
Like a stronger cane. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
Give him a lead cane.
I think it's like fiberglass with like a rubber top or something. But it's like
Jesus.
I know they'd have extras anyway. Like I hope they made extra, but but once you get to like 50, it's like Jim, stop twirling the cane. We don't need it. All right, but
once you get into double digits at all, I'd be like, no.
At the same time, I say you don't need it. Yeah, maybe you kind of did though, because the him twirling this cane is very memorable. Like it's a thing you always think about when you think about Batman Forever. So.
Yeah, no, he does it really well.
Hell yeah! Something I don't usually think about though, right? Going minute by minute, you take everything in. On the left of the screen here, at the second one, we see some kind of decorative hand. Look, which makes me think of the Joker's Jack in the Box thing from the first movie.
Oh yeah, I didn't spot that. Yeah, that is weird.
Like, what's that for?
Maybe those hands in Gotham are just like, oh, it's commonplace. Everybody has a hand. We have giant heads on all the walls.
They're a thing.
And we just have random hands.
And there's candles far too close to a sheet. That's dangerous.
Sugar likes to live dangerously, I guess.
I also like to live dangerously.
This is my assistant, Oprah.
That's such a good movie. It's such a bad good movie. You know, when it came out, it was horribly panned by critics. Like, oh, what a terrible movie.
Really? Oh, and looking back at it now, it's one of the best spoofs.
Oh my God, it's hilarious.
I could guarantee, though, if they'd kept making Batman movies in this vein, Mike Myers would have been a villain at some point. Like,
I think he should come back as a Batman villain. That would be a good turn for Mike Myers.
one thing about though is I could get into speculations about what that hand is for besides Sugar's bed, but I'll let you make your own decisions about what she might be.
No.
But the thing is, like, knowing that Jim Carrey went through like 100 prop canes and stuff, do you think it really bugs him that in this take the question mark's the wrong way around at the end?
Oh yeah, it's a good point.
It's the right way round to him.
Well, that's the thing. Maybe like when he's like, Joel Schumacher's like, yep, perfect, done. And then I can imagine at the premiere, Jim Carrey would be like, what the Look, what? It was the wrong way around, Joel. What the? Like, I spent.
He used that take.
Yes, it was like I spent hours learning to twirl that cane to get that perfect introductory flourish where I'm holding up the friggin' cane with a question mark, and the question mark's the wrong way around.
I will say one thing I love and one thing I found an amusing. I'm going to call it an error, but it's not really an error. It's an error in the same way cinema sins have errors.
Yeah.
The thing I like first, he's wearing the shoes that I wear. He's wearing 1950s brothel creepers. And you see when he steps into the light.
Called brothel creepers?
They're called brothel creepers. They're the shoes I wear every day. And he's wearing green suede brothel creepers, baby.
It's those brothel creepers featured... was on Eddie, the mugger at the beginning of the first Batman movie had brothel creepers, as I recall. So maybe again the hands are a big thing in Gotham. Brothel creepers, the people of Gotham love them.
I mean, brothel creepers have only ever had two bursts of popularity, really. The 50s, because they're the rock and roll shoe. They're the blue suede shoes that Elvis is singing about, you know. And then the punks all wore them to annoy the rock and rollers. Like, we're wearing your shoes. Ha! Which is why I wear them, because it's hilarious. But the thing that I distracted me, and I understand why, it's very hard to pull this off. The hat and the jacket are one shade of green, and the lycra underneath is a different shade of green.
Again, it probably would be coming from the fact that he's just swiped this off the machine, and then he had to buy or make the spandex separately. So
yeah, I'll roll with that. I think that I can buy it. It's a very thrown together outfit in the plot.
You could also take
later. He gets that nicer outfit.
Much sexier.
So I want to say, like, the music cue, though, because he says, he has this, like, I'm just a friend, but you can call me the Riddler. The music behind it has a kind of slight bit of, like, comicalness, like, almost as if, like, isn't this kind of goofy that this guy's going to... Maybe they're trying to go for a deliberate thing. It's like, yeah, his cane's not the right way. This dorky old Edward Nygma thinks he's going to be a supervillain, and isn't this kind of funny? Maybe it's supposed to be like, well, this is where he starts, but by the end... he's going to be the big shot in friggin' Claw Island with his giant box and stuff like that. So maybe they're trying to make him look a little bit ridiculous. But, like, yeah, his jacket and spandex don't quite match. He's not got the cane the right way around. He thinks he's a big shot, but we just know him as, creepy idiot Edward Nygma. But I think that, they could have played that up more, but I don't know if that is what they're going for, really.
No, I like that idea. Like, he's not fully formed yet.
Yeah, that's the fact too. Like Two-Face, his immediate reaction, of course, is annoyance. And it's like, yeah, it would be as well. Like some asshole dressed up like a leprechaun has come into the goddamn place, and he's just like, "Who the hell are you?" Like this, you would be irritated by this, I think. But
yeah, and of course he introduces himself. The Riddler. It's like Two-Face is like, well, who the hell's that? I don't know who that is. Screw you.
Although that's the thing. Did you guys what Two-Face says next? Did you understand what he was saying without having to, like, read the script or anything?
No, I had no idea.
Which line exactly?
When he says, "I'm the Riddler," Two-Face comes over and barks a load of stuff at him. And most of my life, up until doing research for this, I had no idea what he said to him.
To be honest, when I watched it as a kid, because I remember watching it in the movie theater, it seemed like they knew each other. It's like, "Who, you again, coming back to annoy me?" But I was like, no, this is his introduction.
Yeah.
Although weirdly enough, in the Bachelor draft, they had met prior to this. In the Bachelor draft,
it's like they met, like in this scene. It seems like he's come back to bother him again.
Yeah, it's like, it's this guy again. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
in the Bachelor draft,
he seems like to overreact a lot to some guy just in his place.
Yeah, but yeah, so Two-Face runs over. Apparently, what he says is, "We'll call you dead" is more like it. But it just sounds to me like, "How did you find us here?"
I think that it probably wasn't even in the script. They just said, do some Tommy Lee Jones stuff. It's like,
this was the first day they met or something. He's like, oh, I cannot sanction your buffoonery.
This isn't scripted. This is Tommy Lee Jones holding a gun to Jim Carrey.
I have to say, though, for two guys who did not get on, they got great chemistry in this minute, though.
Yeah.
Like, immediately, they really bounce off each other.
Well,
like
maybe them not getting on kind of adds to it, kind of works.
They could do, maybe, because it is just like, I know Tommy Lee, like, he was, Joe Schumacher criticized him because he was very unprofessional. He was a nightmare to work with. I'll never work with him again and stuff like that. But he's good, like, he's reacting to Jim Carrey's over-the-topness with his own very on-point over-the-topness. Like, I love his reactions to, because the fact he's so immediately angry, and then when the Riddler starts talking him around, he gets on board with the whole idea of killing Batman. So, like, he gets so into it so quickly.
Yeah. Yet again, it's like he's going to orgasm, isn't it? It's like, oh, when he's hearing all this.
But it's like, I think my favorite reaction in the whole movie is just like, killing, but Batman, now there's a challenge. Kill the Bat. Sounds like a good idea. And then Two-Face is, like he's had this really, I've been trying to kill him for so long. Like, it's such a good idea.
Like he's not thought of that, though. Like, that's a novel one.
It kind of reminded me, like, what I love about the characters in It's Always Sunny, where it's like, every time someone comes in with a really stupid pitch for a scheme, they get on board with it immediately. Like, they're instantly like, we're dropping everything. This is our day now. And the fact that Two-Face come in and some random guys has infiltrated his lair, and he's just like, but what about killing Batman? Oh my god, that is a great idea.
I never thought of that.
Well, what are the odds of you and I would have the same interests?
I love as well, because Two-Face wants to know how Riddler found him in his lair. And Riddler comes out with one of the greatest lines ever. It's the dumbest and the best line. He goes, but then if I talked, what would keep you from slaying me? Oh, segregated one.
That line kind of bugged me, though, because it should be like segregated one or two, because he is two people, I guess. But
you could argue that. Yeah, it's one person segregated into two. So I don't know.
I know, like, in the novelization, they change it to my twinned pals. So I guess he is acknowledging.
That's not as funny.
Yeah, but segregated one is. But I imagine too that's probably like a Carrey improv too. He's like, come up with all little ticks and quirks and stuff you can add into.
Because yet again, he's talking like Ace Ventura.
I will note, for one thing, this whole concept of Two-Face's hideout, the two-toned room, which is like one half's good, one half's bad.
Wait, the two-tone room? He's just playing ska music the whole time.
Yeah, but this is directly from the comics. This is the first issue that Two-Face appeared in. They had this was his office basically. I think it wasn't quite as intricate as the way they designed this set, but I guess one side was kind of reddish and one side was white. But I did note in that first story they have a thing where someone comes in and Two-Face decides to kill him. And he makes a point of, like, you go over to the other side of the room. So I have to kill you on the bad side because it wouldn't be right to kill you on the good side of the room. And I kind of wonder if that's why he's thrown him up into, like, Spice's ropes, basically. Because he's like, well, that's the bad. I'm going to kill this guy, and it's going to be on the evil side because I can't be getting blood all over the nice, white, clean, good side.
Of course not.
And one thing that... from that original issue, a little thing that they include, which I think it's so weirdly dated, but kind of still weirdly appropriate nowadays. Because of course, the Riddler then says to Two-Face like, that's never going to heal if you don't stop picking.
That's such a.
And it got me thinking about like, Two-Face just getting his scars fixed, basically, which is a thing that's been done many, many times in the comics and whatnot. Like Dark Knight Returns begins with Two-Face having facial reconstructive surgery and stuff.
Well, I mean, you can reconstruct someone's damaged face, but then there's this damage. Like, he's never going to look like he used to, shall we?
No. But that was the thing. In the original story of Two-Face, they actually have a whole thing where they have him all set up. He's going to get plastic surgery, and his doctor, a Dr. Eckhart, spelt the same way as Aaron Eckhart, who would go on to play Two-Face.
Everything's connected.
Of course, we have Eckhart in the first movie as well. Like, get me Dr. Eckhart. But he goes to visit his brother in Germany. And because this was published in the early 1940s, he's put in a concentration camp. Because he goes to visit his Jewish brother, and then so that's why Harvey Dent does not get facial reconstructive surgery before he goes on his Two-Face rampage.
He was in the Holocaust?
Holy crap!
Jesus Christ, that's dark. Speaking of, I watched Jojo Rabbit last night, and I was like,
Oh, did you like it? I
loved it, but it definitely has moments where I'm like, well, that took a dark twist.
Yeah, because, I mean, I'm not going to spoil it for people. I know when this comes out, everyone's probably seen it, but just in case... I thought going in, this is going to be like a fun, silly, stupid comedy, and it starts off that way. But like halfway through the movie, it changes. Like that silliness is a mask.
Do like the whole thing,
that's right. This is the Holocaust.
Yeah. So even have the whole thing like the silliness of like Hitler as his best friend and stuff, and then there is a point where like Hitler kind of turns on him. And he becomes quite a fearsome, kind of like ranting figure and stuff. And it's like, there's the real guy.
That's what's great about it, though. In a way, that's what makes it. If it was just a fun, silly comedy, I would have liked it. But it's going to have lasting appeal because of this.
They made it surprisingly nuanced with certain characters. I'm like, well, I thought this person was going to be just a straight villain, but they weren't. And
yeah, it's really, really clever. So if you listeners go into it and at first you're like, I don't know, this is just kind of silly, slapsticky. No. There's a reason it starts that way. Stick with that.
Yeah. Oh no, it's a great movie. I know very controversial for some people, but still, if you've the disposition to look at something potentially controversial, then it is very, very good.
Yeah.
But one other thing is because I was also thinking about like the relationship between sugar and spice and the fact about like these two have to live with each other in this bizarre living situation.
Awkward.
And it's like, I was kind of like, do they get on? Like, are Sugar and Spice friendly to each other?
I don't know if they're best
because they're opposites, so maybe it's like, the odd couple.
Well, there's loads of sitcoms where they have a plot where they divide the apartment in half like this. Like, don't cross the line.
They used to all get on really great, and then all of a sudden there's like, Two-Face one day is, God damn it, I'm going to get this roll of tape and separate the entire damn room. Everything on this side is yours, and everything on that side is ours. But the thing is, like, the relationship between Sugar and Spice is kind of expanded on ever so slightly in the Bachelor draft.
Yeah.
This scene actually, the scene introducing Sugar and Spice occurs way, way earlier. I think in both drafts. It's like way like around the time where Bruce is watching like the news footage of Harvey Dent and stuff. That's where they would have put the beginning of this scene. And then I think in at the end, they were like, it literally just begins with like Two-Face walking into the room and the Riddler's there. Like that's, I kind of prefer they did it this way. I think this, the scene flows nicely together. I really love the music of that really cartoony Two-Face theme at the beginning. And
hell yeah.
I think it's better that they placed it this way. But the original Bastard draft has this like little interaction where Two-Face comes in and says like, we are sick and tired of hearing about Batman. And then Leather comes in and says, so do something, my hideous darling. Show him who's boss. And then so it describes, who Leather is and whatnot. And then she says like, oh, you are disgusting, my love. And then Lace comes in. And she describes, submissive blonde Venus and whatnot. And then she says, don't listen to that trash. You're the handsomest man in the world. So strong and virile, while you're every girl's dream. And then Leather says, yeah, in hell. And then it says Leather pulls Lace off her man and judo throws her across the room where she lands on a fluffy pile of satin pillows. And Leather says, stick to your own side of the room, honey. Harvey's on my turf now. Which I kind of, that's very 1960s. like,
oh my God, yes. But I kind of would have loved to see it.
I think we kind of do see it in like Batman and Robin. Like when Ivy falls in that big plant and literally goes like curses and stuff. It's that same kind of vibe.
Eyebrows. Well, when we get there, I have like a lot of things to say about those. It's like the quintessential late '90s eyebrows that are like pencil thin.
I do also like the later on in that scene, Two-Face has a little kind of soliloquy onto himself, where they emphasize the schizophrenia part of him more, where he's saying like, "We have things on our minds. Batman must die as soon as possible. On the other hand, revenge is a dish best served cold. We must wait for the right moment. Be methodical. Plan everything to the last detail. And then he wanders over to like the Leatherland side of the room. And then says, but why wait? Let's strike fast and hard. Make Batman pay. Then wanders over to the other side of the room, says, but how? Simple murder? It's not so simple. Besides, it's been done. And then he goes back to Leatherland and says, no, it must be something inspired, something random and senseless, utterly without redeeming social value. Then goes back to the lace and says, yet witty. And the scene ends there. But I like that, like him literally wandering back and forth and changing personalities. And
yeah, it's like it reminds me of Gollum, you know.
Yeah. It's like Joel Schumacher had kept that, and he's like, I did it first, goddamn.
Yeah, true. This is first.
I always find that there, in every party, there's someone who could do a good Gollum impression.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I don't know, but I definitely remember a lot of parties where there's always somebody able to do a Gollum impression.
Well, like going back to something you said earlier, Niall, where he brings up that's never going to heal if you don't stop picking. Not only is that a great way to enrage him, but it made me think, like, maybe it is actually good advice. Not literal picking, but like metaphorically. Like perhaps to become whole again, to heal himself, his psyche, he needs to move on.
Well, yeah,
but the problem there is, does he want to be normal? Well, I use the word normal loosely. Who's normal? Does he want to be the way he was again?
I just imagine like how underwhelming the rest of the movie would be, though. Like that's the way Two-Face takes that. And it's like, maybe you're right. Maybe I should leave it alone. And he just goes back to being like a normal citizen. And the Riddler's like, I guess I stopped Two-Face for Batman.
Well, yeah, it's good. It's good advice from the Riddler. Like, you need to think about yourself here. Like this, you're just picking at a wound, basically.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Leave him alone. But weirdly, the rest of Riddler's plan doesn't fit that.
I do like all the lines between them though are really good because between everybody actually in this scene, just like Two-Face whips out his gun and it's just like, oh, let's see if you bleed green, which is a great line. And I love the fact that it cuts to like Spice like cackling. And then Sugar has a very sort of subdued, like, bit of concern on her face and stuff. I was like, this scene really works. For as silly as it is, it's doing everything it needs to do pretty much perfectly.
I especially love that line because I felt it was multifaceted. Because he's saying it to him like, because obviously he likes green. But, he asks if he bleeds green. And in a way, he does. He is full of envy.
Yeah, man, that's true.
Like, he is now made of envy for Bruce Wayne. So he does bleed green, the green of envy.
Yeah, that's true. That's not again, I don't think that's what Joel Schumacher would have been thinking of at the time. But, like, you can read it that way, and it totally works.
It makes it better.
But, yeah, that's the thing, because, all the little interactions between them, just like these two actors were really on top form. I enjoy the little, they're really trying to talk Two-Face around to this whole like, well, if you just kill Batman, then was it like, was he refers to like, oh, red hands and post-homicidal depression, and then he does this thing like it looks like he's doing like an impression of a monkey almost or something.
Oh yeah, it's an over the top like stupid crying.
Yeah, but it's just that I can't do that noise.
I can't. It's great though because again, he's going overboard and being Jim Carrey, but he's got a point. It's like if you just go out there, you just kill Batman straight up. Like knowing your psyche, you're not going to feel better in a way.
Yeah.
Like he's got a grander plan. He's like, we need to humiliate him first. We got to bring him down.
And the thing
Don't
is,
martyr him.
Thematically ties the movie together because we've called Dick Grayson as a guy desperate for revenge, much like Two-Face. Two-Face wants revenge on Batman. Dick Grayson wants revenge on Two-Face. And Bruce Wayne's saying to him, like, you go out and kill him, it doesn't matter. Like, there'll always be another face that you want to go after. Like, the pain won't go away and stuff. The Riddler's kind of like, he's taking the same kind of thing. If you just go out and kill him, that's not going to help you. But he's, instead of like Bruce Wayne's advice, is like, no, just let it go. Just don't let this consume you.
Yeah, he's like Nega Bruce.
Yeah.
He's the inverse.
Fair. I would want revenge too. It's not like, it just kind of happened recently, and that guy's still out there. It's not like, but he was brought to justice.
Yeah. He is literally, he's roaming free, committing more crimes.
But then it really works, though, the fact that Edward Nygma becomes like a Bruce Wayne doppelganger later on in the movie and stuff. He wants to be Bruce Wayne, essentially. So the fact that he is like Nega Bruce, or Nygma Bruce, if you could say.
Nygma Bruce.
Like, and the fact that he's giving us the same advice, but in a different direction. He's like, well, yeah, you kill him, I won't help you. But if you make him really, really suffer and like completely debase him, that's what's going to give you satisfaction and stuff. So, again, that's subtly done. But it's like, I can't help but feel like, that would have been a thing that would have been deliberately put there as like, these guys it's all about mirrors and dividing and two alter egos and all this kind of crack. Like, it's just, it just seems like that's a nice little bit of swift, deft script writing right there. So,
I think doing this show is making me like this movie more.
Yeah.
Not that I ever disliked the movie, but I think it's actually smarter than we've all thought.
To be fair, I always remember liking the movie, but I was a child when I watched it. So to me, it was like, wow, this is great.
Yeah, and when you're a kid, when you're a kid, the newest movie is always the best.
That feel song.
And the other day, someone posted in the listeners group about the upcoming Funko Pop releases for like all the Batman movies, and saying like, if you go onto the page, immediately in the comments, somebody's like, they need to make one of the boiling acid and Bob the Goon. And the guy was going, this isn't even like deep cut Batman fans. This is the general public who want these people. I was like, for the love of God, if they release a Bob the Goon, fuck, I will camp outside the goddamn Forbidden Planet to get that thing on day of release.
And I'm someone who's pre-ordering all of these damn things.
Oh yeah. They all look excellent. They look like they're. I'm just surprised it's taken them this long to get around to it, but
to do at least a bloody penguin one, yeah.
I mean, I'll definitely be getting, because I do have a lot of Batman figurines around, so I don't want to overdo it, but I'll definitely be getting that melty faced Joker.
Yeah,
that was great looking. I'll definitely get the Penguin too, because the Penguin's one I don't have. I have a lot of characters, but I don't have any Penguin representation around the place.
And as someone who has and will be cosplaying further as Catwoman, I need the Catwoman.
Oh yeah, that's fair enough. That's for some reason I was really like, is John about to say he's going to cosplay as the Penguin? I was like, oh my god, this is huge.
Right, I would love to. I think that's going to break the bank. I don't think I can do that costume.
It's either you need to spend a lot of money on getting a rubber giant suit made, or you spend a lot of money getting your body into the shape of the Penguin.
And then if you have to pee, you better be wearing a diaper. Is all I can say.
Well, when I'm Catwoman, that was a nightmare to pee, right? Because
because it's a full on. You have to basically get naked.
I have to get naked, and I've got on control underwear. I've got on multiple layers of tights. I've got on a waist trainer. It's like, you got to get all this on.
We totally understand of like people saying like, oh, Michelle Pfeiffer, did you like better than the outfits? Like, no, it was a nightmare. And why she was so like, well, when I play the part again, maybe.
I tell you what, though, I wore it through the streets of Manchester because after the show I was at, we just went for a walk because we were going to go to a bar, but we weren't feeling it. We're like, let's just go to like a small bar, like not like a big club one. Yeah. So we went to Fab Cafe in Manchester. And then all the drag queens from the show came in anyway. So it was like, and they all remembered me from the show. They're like, hey. It's like, holy crap, Adore Delano is waving at me from across the bar.
But although Todd, you had a little brief allusion to your history with the movie there, Stephanie. Usually around this time of the week in the last episode, we always ask the guests about if they have any fond memories of any particular history with Batman Forever. Like, was this movie a big part of your childhood in any way, or were you one of the people who are like,
it was definitely something I remember watching. Like, I went to the movie theater to watch it with, like, a cousin of mine. My family really dislikes this cousin of mine. I've never had that much issue, except that she's a bit of a downer. But she used to always take me to the movies, so we kind of, like, always went to the movies. But I do remember the Seal song. I to this day, like, on my playlist, on my Spotify, I have Kiss from a Rose on the page.
Yes!
Kiss by a Rose. It's a great song. It's kind of like better than the movie.
Hey. Let's not go say things we can't take back.
I always liked the characters. I thought, this was back before Val Kilmer got ugly. So he was still pretty hot. In this time period, Chris O'Donnell was hot. Nicole Kidman was probably peak hottest. I think she was also pretty hot.
Yeah.
I think that's the attitude of the character as well, isn't it? She's, let's be honest, she's just straight up horny.
Yeah, but I thought she was one of the better female characters in to Batman. She was
okay.
She was a doctor. She was interesting.
Yeah, I found that normally when I watch it, I'm like, oh, I don't like that character. She's one note, blah blah blah. But doing it like this, it's made me appreciate her because it's interesting that she's a successful doctor. She's shown as intelligent, but she's also allowed to be sexual. These aren't two separate things. This is the same character. She can be a successful doctor who's really smart and just wants to have sex with Batman. That's fine.
Yeah. Well, we all have goals we hope to reach, and if banging Batman's one of them, then by all means, why?
It's good.
Bang Batman, and she gets she's got that. She also has the little doll that's shows Two-Face's.
Oh yeah, the Dream Warden thing, yeah.
To Two-Face, and I just thought she didn't just get kidnapped. I mean, I guess none of them get get kidnapped. Do they all get kidnapped? Let's think about this.
Selena Kyle doesn't, I guess.
Except for Selena.
But Selena Kyle's a weird on the fence kind of. She's a bit like I've said this before. In James Bond, there's always the Bond girl, and then there's the Bond girl villain.
Oh yeah, there's there's also which was the one that had Grace Jones in it.
Yeah,
was it View to a Kill? Was that Grace Jones?
Yeah, View to a Kill. Yeah, with Duran Duran doing the music.
Yeah, because people say that she's a Bond girl, but she is what she isn't. But she is. Yeah.
There's always a sexy female villain who sleeps with Bond or tries to, or he tries to sleep with her. So it's she kind of a Bond girl, but with evil motives.
Yeah, you're sitting there watching this.
Character wasn't evil, was she? I can't remember, but I do remember her being badass.
Grace Jones.
Yeah, and
yeah, she's evil. Well, she starts off evil at least. I can't remember how it ends.
Yeah,
but she's working for.
She's one of those.
Yeah, she's working for the villain played by Christopher Walken.
Oh, yeah, Christopher Walken.
Right. Everything's connected.
Yeah.
Oh. You always see them coming now, though. You're just watching Eva Green swanning around Casino Royale going, I like you, Eva Green, but I don't trust you.
In the words of Alan Partridge, actually, he goes, "You're sexy, but I don't trust you." He's talking about Bond women.
Yeah, exactly. Well, my point is that besides Selena Kyle, is there one that doesn't get kidnapped in any of them?
I think wasn't it the
they
next
usually
one?
do.
They don't really have a love interest to Bruce. They have what's her name? The one who was the supermodel who was Joey's roommate and friends for a bit. I can't remember her name.
Her nickname was The Body.
Yeah.
What was her name?
She appears very briefly as she's a love interest to Bruce Wayne. But then the rest of the movie's more about homoeroticism, basically, and Poison Ivy. Elle
McPherson.
There you go, Elle McPherson.
There you go.
And she doesn't really have enough screen time. But if she had more screen time, I'm sure she would have got kidnapped eventually. But it's not quite as bad as all three friggin' Raimi Spider-Man movies. All three of them. Mary Jane getting abducted. It's just Jesus Christ, man. Just give Kirsten Dunst something else to do, would you?
Yeah, give it one heroic moment.
Yeah. And then find out from when we were on Spider-Man 3 Minute with Scott, he was saying originally it was going to be Gwen Stacy who got abducted at the end. It's it's a way better idea. Why didn't you do that instead? No, just retooled it into this. So that's the movie you got. Although in terms of what's happening on the screen here, little random notes and stuff, because this scene goes on into next week, so we can cover more of it then. But one thing I will say is that I think in the Goldsman draft, they do address how the Riddler found Two-Face.
Oh, yeah, I forgot that.
Yeah, they have, so Two-Face says how did you find us? And then Riddler says, well, you are Two-Face. You would need to face both rivers, both uptown and downtown simultaneously. Only one spot in Gotham serves these bi-zonal, bi-coastal needs. And then Two-Face then says, congratulations, you get to die in the Dean's list, which is another good line that I kind of wish they'd kept in. But
I don't like that exchange.
Oh, what?
No, it's too much. It's too silly. It's too elaborate. Oh well, you've got to face these two rivers.
You're both gay and straight. So you're above the bisexual nightclub. You could do that too.
Oh, now that
would
would have been interesting.
Well, that's the thing, though, because now, though, in the finished film, we don't have an explanation of how the Riddler found Two-Face.
I don't need to.
Can you
know
speculate
how.
any kind of ideas as to why? Because, like,
I mean, he's smart, isn't he? That's his whole shtick.
Yeah, and he had a computer in the 90s, and you know that back then computers were magic.
Yep. You can look up
They
anything.
could do everything. You could hack yourself back in time.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch Sun Fury ever?
Any photo or security camera, you can just go enhance, and it solve a crime.
I just wonder, like, you think they could have tied it into the box in some way, but then the box isn't really a big thing yet, so it's kind of like, nah, I couldn't have done that. It's kind of like, I remember in, people always complained about in The Dark Knight, where it's like, oh, when Harvey Dent, actually, when he's about to kill David Desmolshin, he's doing the coin flip thing, that guy was abducted, well, he was threatening Rachel Dawes, like the Joker's goon, and then Batman just randomly shows up. And I remember for ages people were complaining like, "Oh, that's a big plot. How does Batman just know where Harvey Dent is?" And one, easy explanation because he's Batman, and of course he could find out where he is. But two is like in The Dark Knight though, they do have a kind of explanation because we know at that point Bruce Wayne is working on this sonar phone device thing, and within the scene, Harvey Dent is on the phone initially. So it's like, yeah, he used a prototype of that to find him. There you go. There's your explanation.
Yeah.
So you think they could have had. As much as I compliment the script writing this minute, if they'd been a bit more clever, they could have had a little thing like, oh, maybe use the box to trace Two-Face somehow. Or maybe Two-Face used the box at some point prior to this. But I guess they already did try to address it with the bi-coastal facing both rivers at the same time thing. And they're just like,
Too much.
you know what? Who cares how he found them? He just found them. There you go.
Exactly. Do we need to know?
But that's kind of like all the notes I really have for this minute. Do you guys have anything else you want to talk about in the minutes in particular, or?
That's everything for me.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I think we got our.
Yeah.
So before we do head off into the dark night, Niall, we need that riddle one more time so we can see if we can figure it out at the last second, because I still can't figure it out.
Let's see. Okay, so just go through it again so the people are refreshed. Riddle me this. I have a home and a big space. I have keys, but I have no locks. I have lots of letters, but I have no mailbox. What am I?
Nah, I don't know it.
And give you the hint of I have keys, but I have no locks.
I think I know.
Oh, it's a piano? No.
Yeah.
Close.
Piano. No.
The thing is, I have a home and a big space. I have keys, but no locks. I have lots of letters. I have letters, but I have no mailbox.
Oh, hang on. I thought it was a piano too.
You're getting there. You're in the right neighborhood.
If you say it's a keyboard, I'm going to slap you.
It's a keyboard. It is. It is a computer keyboard. It has a home button.
Oh, a computer keyboard.
Yeah. So there you go. Another riddle has failed again. Although you were doing pretty good there for a while, John. I think you got a couple like in a row. So
I at least got one. Yeah, I don't know. I forget these shows as soon as I turn the mic off. But we will head off into the dark night. Stephanie, we toss a coin at the end of the week to decide if our guest lives or dies. So before we do that, would you like to tell people where they can find you if you do survive?
I really enjoyed Stephanie's response to we've decided whether you live or die. Just okay. Yep, that sounds fair.
Being a mom, there's weird shit that happens. Okay. So I am Stephanie Palacino. You can find me on Facebook as Caffine Jedi, CAFFINE Jedi. And also you can look out for my new series that'll be releasing in a couple weeks, probably on Amazon and iTunes and anywhere you can stream. It's called Drowning in Sunshine. And basically the title is very much the tone you're going to get.
I think actually because the time this airs, that will be out because it won't air for like another 10 weeks or so. So
it'll be out. So it'll probably be on Amazon. Look up our Facebook page. We have all these little vlogs that kind of are like preludes to the series. So it kind of gives you hints of what's going to happen and what the characters you're going to deal with are.
Hell yeah. Check that out, everybody. Even if Stephanie now dies. So do that, because it'll keep her memory going.
Just seeing like the last episode just has like in memory of Stephanie Palacino coming up.
I want some nice little music in there.
Well, do come and speak to us as well at the Bat-Minute Listeners Cave on Facebook, Twitter at Bat-Minute, and we have a Discord, everybody. We have a Discord, the Sleepy Charlie Media Discord, but I think you need to message me to get an invite. I don't know how Discord works. I'm still trying to figure it out. Or if you go to our Patreon and you subscribe, not only do you get an invite to the Discord, but you get a special role on the Discord. You could be known as Bob, which everyone wants to be Bob. But yes, do that.
It's a really hard sell on that. Like, you could be Bob if you wanted.
What more do you want in life? God damn it. Stephanie, heads or tails for your survival?
Tails.
Tails. Okay, here we go. A 10p coin, because it's all I have at hand. Dun, 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 dun. Tails! You live.
Yeah.
You live. You get to enjoy the fruits of your success from your show.
Thank you. I hope to make a whole $15 off of the streaming revenue.
Unfortunately, that's the world we live in, where if you make 15, you're supposed to be thankful.
Yeah, it's like, woo, you only spent like a crap ton of money. Way too much I spent on that. But
Can you
only
purchase
famous
it on
artists
Amazon?
make money.
Can I buy it on Amazon, or is it just streaming as well?
You can buy it. It will be buyable. You can buy it as if you want to keep it, and probably iTunes too, or you can buy it off our website potentially.
Hell yeah! I feel like we all need to support each other in this
Support
world.
your local artists.
Hell yeah!
Okay, there's always this. It really does drive me nuts. That whole idea of like those people who are like, "Oh, you do work, like you do film. Can you film this for free?" I'm like, "Well, you know what'd be nice is if you didn't buy, Kim Kardashian's newest freaking skank perfume, but you give her money, but me, you got to get it for free."
Yeah, it is annoying. That luckily, with podcasting, you don't tend to get it. Like, could you do a podcast for me for free? It doesn't really happen.
No.
But yeah, I see it all the time from friends and stuff. It angers me, and I'm not involved. But yes, do join us again. Stephanie has lived, but she will not be joining us next week. We will have a new guest on Monday for more Bat-Minute Forever.
Next time, perilous pitching. It seems neither side of Harvey can sanction the buffoonery of his lycra-clad lord of lunacy, but as the irksome interloper inserts his invention in the heart of... I gotta do this again. Invention. Right again. You guys got me good. This is a good one. All right. Next time, perilous pitching. It seems neither side of Harvey can sanction the buffoonery of his lycra-clad lord of lunacy, but as the irksome interloper inserts his invention in the heart of the double dragon's den, can his potential partner be prompted to say, "Alrighty then"? Find out next week. Same Bat Pod, different Bat Minute.
Ba-da-da, ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.